Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your horoscope. Happy birthday, Virgo. This is your special September horoscope in advance. I like to get it out early when your birthday is coming up, so be sure and watch your August horoscope first, and then this one you'll get a good picture for the next couple of months. But whether you were born towards the end of August or you have a September Virgo birthday, I am celebrating Virgos. We are definitely coming towards that special season. And for the month of September, the sun will be in the sign of Virgo through the 21st. So most of the month. And you're going to benefit from Mars in your sign all the way through the 13th. So in general, with the astrology of September, the first part of the month and especially the first week is the strongest for you, and especially for Virgo people. So I'm encouraging you to make a big push the first week of the month towards anything new you want to get started, whether it's a new project, a new agreement, new relationship, things that are, pending that need to get solidified. Try to button that up the first week of the month. We're going to start slowing down. What's going to happen is Mercury is going retrograde later in the month, and we enter the shadow phase of that on September the 7th. So starting September 7th, things may start to feel a bit slower, and by September 27th, that's the official retrograde date, we will enter that cycle. Mercury will be retrograde September 27th to October the 18th. It's going retrograde in the sign of Libra. So for a lot of Virgo people, especially Virgo rising, but potentially some Virgo sun people, this could be about reassessing something to do with finances. And I would not advise making big financial decisions or big purchases during Mercury retrograde. It's really a better time to repurpose your resources. You can do some negotiating. I'd say that this month is really good to renegotiate, I should say, existing agreements, and especially starting the 14th, because at that point Mars moves into Libra, which is pretty diplomatic, pretty good about getting a fair agreement going. But it'll really work best when you've already had an existing agreement. It's not a good time to start something brand new, but if you need to hammer out some new terms within something that's already in existence, this is actually a good month to do that. So keep that in mind, Virgos. Mercury is your ruling planet, so you may feel these Mercury retrograde cycles more so than other sun signs, and it's a really good time for you to personally slow down and get things done on your to-do list that have been bugging you, that have not been finished. We all have those things, and I know Virgos have them. And you can also use this time for any kind of writing projects. I find Mercury retrograde to be a very strong time to write because it's turning our thought processes inward. And a lot of Virgos are writers or work in that world with editing and words, and this is a good time to refine. You can think retrograde equals anything that starts with RE, refine, revise, redo. So you can stay productive. Don't worry. I know Virgos like to. Now, the great news is our new moon of September. It is September 6th at 14 degrees of Virgo. So if you remember, I was mentioning that the shadow of Mercury retrograde starts on September 7th. This is great news. The new moon, September 6th, before that shadow phase, you'll be able to get a lot of power with new intentions, planting the seeds for these new ideas that you can be developing as we go through the retrograde. If you were born September 6th or within a few days on either side, this is a very powerful personal new moon for you. It is like your astrological new year, and you're in for some big new beginnings ahead whenever that new moon lands near your birthday. Same for Virgo rising folks, 14 degrees in that area. I think you will feel a lot of power at this new moon to reinvent some aspect of yourself or something that you're doing out in the world. So make the most of that. All Virgos, regardless of your birthday, can really get a lot of power out of this. This is your special Virgo new moon. So be sure and set those new moon intentions. Now, we've got the full moon on the 20th, and that is 28 degrees of Pisces. This is going to be probably a spotlight on relationship for a lot of Virgo people, especially Virgo rising. And if you were born on or around the 20th, you're a late degree Virgo person, this full moon is directly opposite where the sun was when you were born. That can act as quite a mirror. And you may discover what you thought was going on with someone else is actually something you need to look at for yourself. You can use this in a helpful way. But Pisces does tend to stir up emotion when it shows up in a full moon setting. So keep that in mind. If it feels overly dramatic in any way, realize a few days after this full moon has passed, you'll probably feel a bit more grounded and able to sort through what you might have realized. It's a really good time for realizations, whether you're in a partnership or not. But if you are in a partnership, I think you will notice something. Maybe that you would like to adjust about your partnership, something that you hadn't been able to see before. That's often what the full moons do, and in the sign of Pisces, it tends to bring to light the subconscious. So those are some themes to play with. As the month goes on, I think it'll get a little quieter. Venus moves into Scorpio starting the 10th of September. This is going to also turn your thoughts towards intimate partnership, psychology, the inner workings of your interactions and communications with others. So it is actually an excellent time to refine any type of communications. And when we come out of this Mercury retrograde towards the end of October, I think you'll be feeling very clear and strong about what you want to communicate, what your next steps forward are, whether this is in a professional or a personal setting. And maybe there's kind of both going on in your life. So I hope you can make the most of September's astrology and that you have a wonderful birthday season. Be safe and be well. And I will see you here next time with your horoscope.